Earth was silent in a way it had never been before. Cities that once shined with light now looked like empty shadows. Streets were broken, buildings were torn open, and the sky was filled with thick smoke and the cold metal shapes of enemy ships. Humanity had fought for many years, but in the end, humanity had lost. Commander Rian walked alone to the ruined city of New Geneva, one of the last human capitals. His boots crushed broken glass as he moved through the darkness. Every step reminded him that millions had walked here once, but now no voices were left. Not even birds, not even wind through green trees. Everything felt dead. Above him, the Krell Dominion ships floated like giant black blades in the sky. Their engines hummed with a low, threatening sound. The Krell had invaded Earth 12 years ago, and humans had fought back with everything they had. Planes, ships, weapons, courage. But the Krell were too strong. Their technology was older than human history. Their soldiers felt no fear. Their commanders believed humans were nothing but weak creatures standing in their way. By the end of the war, most human armies were destroyed. The few survivors hid in underground bunkers, hoping to escape detection. Rian was the leader of one of the last military units left on Earth. But even he felt hopeless. He had lost his family, his friends, his entire world. Only one mission remained. Find a place where survivors could hide for a little longer. Rian reached a large cracked stone wall deep inside an old mountain bunker. This bunker had been built hundreds of years ago, long before Krell invasion. Most people believed it was a simple military shelter. But the deeper Rian went, the stranger the place felt. There were carvings on the walls that did not look human, symbols that glowed faintly when he walked near them. It was as if the bunker was reacting to his presence. Rian paused and touched one of the glowing symbols. It felt warm, almost alive. He pulled back his hand in surprise. He called his team on the radio, but the signal was weak. Only static replied. That was strange. Usually the bunker had strong communication lines. Something was interfering. He moved deeper into the chamber. The air became heavy. The symbols on the walls got brighter. Rian felt a chill run down his spine. He had seen many strange things during the war, but nothing like this. The carvings showed tall, giant-like figures standing over mountains, holding glowing weapons. In the carvings, these giants were fighting creatures that looked almost like the Krell. He whispered to himself, "What is this place?" Suddenly, the ground shook. Dust fell from the ceiling. Rian stumbled and grabbed the wall to balance himself. The shaking grew stronger, like something underneath the bunker was moving. A deep sound echoed through the chamber, like a heartbeat, but not human. Rian froze. He stepped back, reaching for his weapon, even though he knew it would be useless against whatever this was. A soft, glowing light began to form on the far side of the room. It spread across the floor like flowing water, lighting up the carvings and making them shine. Then a voice spoke. It was not loud. It was not angry, but it was powerful. It vibrated through the stone, through the air, through Rian's bones. "Child of Earth, why have you come so late?" Rian's breath caught in his chest. He looked around, trying to find the source of the voice. There was no speaker, no machine, no person standing there. The voice came from the walls themselves. He raised his light and stepped forward. The symbols on the floor formed a circle, and the center of that circle slowly opened, revealing a hidden passage. Warm air rose from the darkness below, carrying a faint bluish glow. The voice spoke again. "The balance is broken. The sky burns, and yet you arrive now." Rian whispered. Who are you?" The reply was slow, ancient, and full of something he had never heard before, wisdom mixed with power. "We are the first guardians of Earth. We sleep when the world is safe. We rise only when our home calls to us. But you, human, you did not call us." Rian felt confused. "I don't understand. Humanity is dying. We need help. If you are protectors, why didn't you come before?" For a moment, the chamber went silent. Then the voice answered. "Your species forgot our name, forgot our history, and forgot the path to awaken us. Only now have you touched the signal." Rian looked at his hand, the one that touched the glowing symbol earlier. His fingertips now glowed faintly with the same light. The ground shook again, stronger this time. Stone shifted. Metal groaned. Something massive was waking up beneath the bunker. Rian stepped back as the hidden passage opened wider. A warm, blue light rose from below, and shadows of huge sleeping forms appeared deep inside the chamber. The voice echoed one last time. Humanity may be defeated, but Earth is not. If you wish to survive, then awaken us fully. We will rise again. Rian stared into the glowing darkness, his heart racing. For the first time in years, he felt hope. Rian did not sleep that night. Even after leaving the deep chamber and returning to the upper bunker, his hands still glowed faintly with blue light. He tried washing them. He tried rubbing them. The glow did not fade. Every time he shut his eyes, the ancient voice repeated in his mind like a forgotten memory. Awaken us fully. By morning, Rian knew one thing. He could not face this mystery alone. He gathered his team. Mara, a quiet engineer, Darren, a soldier with sharp mind, and Lyra, a communication specialist who still believed humanity could rise again. But when Rian told them what he heard and what he saw, no one reacted the way he expected. No one laughed. No one doubted him. They all looked at him with the same expression, fear mixed with hope, because each of them, in different corners of the bunker, had seen the symbols glowing on their own walls too. Just for a moment, it was as if the entire bunker came alive when Rian touched that hidden mark. "We need to go back," Mara said firmly. "Whatever is down there, it wants something from us. Or it wants to use us," Darren warned. But Rian shook his head. "We have no other hope left. The Krell are scanning every bunker. Sooner or later, we will be found. Whatever is sleeping down there, it knew our name. It called us children of Earth. We need to see more." With slow, deep breaths, the team followed Rian back into the ancient chamber. The chamber awakens on its own. When they reached the carved stone wall, something shocking happened. The wall opened before Rian even touched it. The symbols brightened on their own, moving across the surface like flowing rivers of light. The chamber recognized them, and welcomed them, Lyra whispered. "It's reading us like it knows our hearts." Rian led them inside. But this time, the chamber was not silent. A deep hum filled the air, steady, rhythmic, like breathing. The glowing circle on the floor pulsed slowly. The hidden passage that opened earlier now stood wide, releasing a warm wind filled with small blue particles, like stars floating in the air. They walked down a long spiral ramp that curved into the earth. As they descended, the hum grew louder. The blue light grew brighter. And then the massive room at the bottom came into view. The sleeping giants. The team stared in shock. In the center of the chamber stood 12 giant figures, each standing 10 meters tall. Their bodies looked like a mix of stone, metal, and crystal. They were shaped like warriors, broad shoulders, armored chests, hands curled into fists. Their faces were calm, peaceful, as if they had been asleep for thousands of years. But the strangest thing was their positioning. They stood in a perfect circle, as if guarding something unseen in the middle. Darren stepped forward and pointed. "These things, they don't look human, but they don't look like the Krell either. They're older," Mara whispered. "Much older. Look at the carvings on their armor. It's the same style as the symbols on the wall." Rian slowly approached the nearest giant. Blue lines ran across its body like veins of living light. He placed a hand on the giant's foot. The light reacted instantly, glowing brighter under his touch. A deep vibration rolled across the chamber. The giants almost seemed to breathe. Suddenly, the ancient voice echoed again. But this time it wasn't a whisper. It came from everywhere at once. "Your world cries for help. Your people fall in darkness. Why did you wait so long?" The ground shook. Dust drifted from the ceiling. The eyes of the giant in front of Rian slowly opened. Two bright blue lights, shining like suns. Lyra gasped. Mara stepped back. Darren raised his weapon, though he knew it was useless. Rian stood frozen. The giant leaned forward slightly, its voice vibrating through the chamber. "We are the Ancient Ones, the first guardians of Earth. We rise when the world needs us, and your world is burning." Humanity's mistake revealed. Rian found his voice. "Why didn't you awaken earlier? Humanity has been dying for years." The giant's glowing eyes dimmed, almost like sadness, because your species forgot the way. The signal was lost. The old paths were buried. Without a call, we sleep forever. Mara stepped forward. But something woke you now. Something Rian touched. The giant nodded slowly. The last spark of the old code lives in your bloodline, human commander. Your ancestors guarded our secrets. You carry their echo. Rian felt his heart race. He never knew anything about ancient codes or old guardians. He was just a soldier trying to save what was left of his people. But now, something inside him felt alive. He could sense the chamber reacting to him. He could feel the giants awakening, one by one. The giant's voice echoed again. If you wish to save your world, then awaken the circle completely. Only then can we fight beside you. The final shock of part 2. As Rian stepped toward the center of the circle, the floor began to glow beneath his feet. Lines of light connected each of the 12 giants. The entire chamber shook like a storm was rising under the earth. Lyra grabbed Rian's arm. What happens when you awaken them fully? Rian looked at the giants, now stirring, now breathing, now alive. I think, he said quietly, the real war begins. And for the first time since the invasion, the Krell ships above the bunker began detecting a strange, rising energy signature. Something they had never seen before. Something that frightened even them. The Krell Dominion ship Harbinger 7 floated high above Earth when a strange alarm suddenly activated. The crew was confused. For years, Earth had been silent, weak, defeated. But now their screens showed something impossible. An old energy signal rising from under the mountains. Krell officers gathered around the main console. Their captain stared at the flashing red warning and hissed. This energy, it belongs to the old war, the one our ancestors feared. For the first time in 12 years, the Krell felt something they thought they could never feel again. Fear. Back underground, humanity watches giants wake. Rian did not know that the enemy above was panicking. He only knew one thing. The chamber around him was changing fast. As he stepped into the center of the giant circle, blue light wrapped around him like flowing water. His team stepped back, shielding their eyes. The ground pulsed like a beating heart, and the 12 giants slowly raised their heads, one after another. A soft, echoing sound filled the air, ancient voices speaking in a language none of the humans understood. But the tone was calm, powerful, and almost sad. Then the largest giant, the one standing directly in front of Rian, lifted its hand. Blue sparks danced across its fingers. When it spoke, the chamber felt alive. We remember the first war. Rian swallowed. What war? The giant stepped forward. Its footsteps vibrated through the floor. The hidden truth of Earth. The giant continued. Long before your kind walked this world, Earth was a fortress, a beacon of light against the darkness. Mara frowned. Earth? A fortress? The giant nodded. Your planet sits on a rare energy vein, one that many species wanted to control. We, the ancient ones, were created to protect it. The Krell were our first enemy. The humans exchanged shocked looks. The Krell had attacked Earth before. Thousands, maybe millions of years ago. The giant spoke again, its voice deep and heavy. In the first war, we defeated them. We pushed them back across the stars. But victory had a cost. Our numbers fell, and our power burned low. So we made a choice. We slept, waiting for the next danger. Darren stepped forward. Why didn't you tell humans? Why didn't you leave a warning? The giant lowered its head. We tried, but as humans evolved, the knowledge was lost, buried in old temples, forgotten in stories, broken by time. The light on the giant's chest glowed brighter. Your ancestors once stood beside us. They fought with courage. We thought their children, your generation, would remember the call. Rian felt a sharp pain in his chest. Humanity had forgotten its oldest allies. The return of the enemy. Rian asked quietly, why did the Krell come back now? The giant paused and answered, because they have grown stronger. They learned from their defeat. They built new weapons. Weapons that can tear planets open. They want Earth's energy. They want what they failed to take before. Lyra whispered, trembling. And we were fighting them blind, thinking this was our first war. The giant nodded slowly. The Krell want revenge, but they also want power. And now they want to finish what they once failed to do. The giant raised its hand toward Rian. But this time, human commander, you are not alone. Rian's connection to the Ancient Ones. A sphere of blue light floated from the giant's hand and hovered in front of Rian. The air around it hummed like distant thunder. His teammates backed away, startled. What is that? Mara asked. The giant answered. The Echo Core. It carries the memory of the First War. Only one with Guardian blood can access it. Rian blinked. Guardian blood? I'm just a soldier. The giant's eyes glowed brighter. You are more than you know. Your ancestor was the last protector of the signal. The energy responded to you because of that link. Rian took a step back. Why me? I don't have powers. I don't have anything. The giant leaned closer. Leadership is a power. Courage is a power. The will to protect your world. That is the greatest power. The Echo Core attached itself to Rian's chest like a gentle heartbeat. A rush of images hit him. Flashes of ancient battles, burning skies, giants fighting the Krell, Earth glowing like a star. He gasped and fell to one knee. Mara ran to him. Rian, are you okay? Rian slowly stood, breathing hard. Inside his mind, a map formed, a map of hidden structures, secret weapons, forgotten tunnels built deep inside Earth. I can see things, he whispered. Places humanity never knew. Weapons buried under oceans. Towers hidden under desert sands. Shields inside the Earth's core. His eyes widened. They built a whole defense system for us. For humans. The giant bowed its head. And now it is time to use them. End of part 3. Strong ending. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. An alarm echoed from above. Lyra grabbed her radio. Her voice shook. Rian, the Krell fleet above the mountain just changed formation. They know something is happening here. Darren tightened his grip on his weapon. Mara looked at the giants with fear and hope mixed together. Rian stared at the glowing symbols spreading across the walls. They're coming, he said quietly. And this time humanity will not face them alone. Behind him, all 12 giants opened their eyes. An entire mountain trembled. High above Earth, inside the Krell flagship Devourer Sons, Commander Verax received the latest scan reports. His advisors trembled as they handed him the data. Speak, Verax demanded. Commander, an energy source has awakened beneath the Earth's crust, his science officer hissed. Old energy. Forbidden energy. Verax's claws tightened. There was only one thing in the universe the Krell truly feared. The return of the Ancient Ones. They were destroyed, Verax growled. Our ancestors wiped them out. No, Commander, the officer whispered. They only slept, and now humans have awakened them. Verax's eyes widened. Prepare the fleet, he ordered. If the Ancient Ones rise again, we must crush Earth before they regain full power. For the first time in the entire war, the Krell were not hunting humans. The Krell were running out of time. Back on Earth, hope emerges from darkness. In the underground chamber, Rian felt the earth shake again, but this time the tremor did not come from the awakening giants. It came from above. The Krell were regrouping. They had sensed the return of their ancient enemy. We need to move, Rian said, standing tall despite the weight of the Echo Core pulsing in his chest. The 12 giants stepped into formation, each glowing brighter than before. Their lights reflected across the chamber walls like waves of fire and crystal. The leader giant, Kaler, spoke. Your world stands on the edge of destruction, but now you have what your ancestors once had, a bond with us. Rian nodded. We don't have many soldiers left, but we have heart, and now we have you. Lyra spoke next, looking at Kaler with awe. Can you truly fight the Krell again after so many years of sleep? Kaler's chest glowed. We slept. We did not weaken. Darren muttered, Well, that's comforting. The resistance assembles. For the first time in 12 years, Rian sent a coded message to every surviving human bunker. We are not alone. Come to the old mountain. Hope has awakened. At first, silence. Then, one by one, voices began replying. We're coming! How is this possible? We thought everyone was dead. We will fight. Within hours, small groups of survivors arrived, some injured, some exhausted, some holding old weapons, some holding nothing at all. But every face carried the same look, a spark of hope. When they entered the chamber and saw the giants, many fell to their knees. Some whispered prayers. Others cried quietly. For years, humanity had believed Earth had abandoned them. Now they realized Earth had protected them all along. Kaler spoke to the crowd. Children of Earth, rise. Your spirit has not been broken. We will teach you what your world has hidden. Earth shows its true nature. Kaler lifted his arm. The ground shook. A huge holographic map appeared in the center of the chamber. A map showing Earth not as a simple planet, but as a fortified world filled with old structures. Hidden towers beneath deserts. Energy vaults under oceans. Weapon stations in deep caverns. Shield generators near the Earth's core. Rian stared at the map in disbelief. Earth was built like a fortress. Kaler turned to him. Yes, your world was shaped for defense during the First War. But when humans forgot the past, the fortress fell asleep. Mara studied the map. These weapons, can humans use them? Not alone, Kaler said. But with us, yes. Darren grinned for the first time. So we finally have a chance. Training begins. The giants taught humans how to activate ancient weapons using simple commands. The technology was far older than anything the Krell had, but strangely, designed to respond to human touch. Humans and giants stood together in wide stone arenas, practicing combat signals, shield activations, and energy channeling. Rian learned how to activate an Earth Pulse, a powerful blast meant to disable enemy shields. Lyra worked on communication stones that connected bunkers instantly. Mara studied the power sources that kept the giants alive. Every day, the humans grew stronger. Every hour, the giants awakened more of their old strength. And every minute, the Krell fleet moved closer. A warning from the sky. One evening, as training ended, a human scout rushed into the chamber. Commander Rian, the Krell, they're regrouping. Their ships are gathering above a mountain. Rian looked at Kaler. They know about you. Kaler nodded. They can sense our rise. They will strike with everything they have. The ground trembled again, heavy, powerful. But this time it wasn't fear. It was destiny waking up. Rian lifted his head. We won't run. Not anymore. Humans behind him nodded firmly. Kaler stepped forward, towering above them all. Then let this be known. Tonight, the Guardians rise, and Earth will stand again. The Krell flagship Devourer's Sons drifted through Earth's upper atmosphere like a dark omen. Inside the command deck, the air was tense. Krell officers, usually cold and emotionless, now whispered nervously as new scans appeared on their screens. Energy spikes, ancient frequencies, unknown signatures rising from the Earth's crust. Commander Verax stood still, his armored tail pressed against the floor. He stared at the glowing data and felt something he had not felt in decades. A memory of defeat from a first war. A younger officer approached him carefully. Commander, the giants, they are waking. Verax's jaw tightened. Our ancestors warned us of this day, he growled. But the humans were too weak to find them. How did they awaken the Guardians? The officer swallowed. A human commander triggered the signal. The Guardians are responding to him. Verax turned away from the console, his eyes burning with anger. Then that human must be eliminated, and Earth must be crushed before they reach full strength. He raised his hand. All warships form the black circle. We strike the mountain first. For the first time in the entire war, the Krell knew they might not win. Back on Earth, a storm approaches. Deep inside the mountain, Rian felt the chamber tremble. But this time the shaking wasn't from the giants waking. It was from something massive descending from the sky. The Krell fleet, they're here, Lyra whispered as she monitored the signals. There are hundreds of ships forming above the mountain. Darren clenched his fists. They're trying to crush us before we even fight back. Rian looked at Kaler. Can we stop them? Kaler's glowing eyes turned toward the ceiling, as if he could see through the rock. We can, but only if we rise now. The 12 giants stepped forward. With each step, their bodies glowed brighter. Blue, gold, and silver light flowed across their armor like living fire. Humans, Kaler said, you must prepare your weapons. This battle will test you. But you are not alone. Rian nodded. We'll fight beside you. And we beside you, Kaler replied. The first strike. A deafening boom shook the chamber. Dust rained down from the ceiling. The mountain itself groaned. They're firing at us. Mara shouted. The Krell warships launched massive plasma beams into mountainside, trying to collapse the chamber before the giants could emerge. But the mountain did not fall. Kaler lifted his arm, and a shimmering golden shield formed around the entire chamber. Thick, powerful, ancient. Darren stared in disbelief. They protected the whole mountain? Kaler nodded. This is Earth's oldest shield, created during the First War. And now it is yours again. Humanity answers back. Rian pulled out the Echo Core's map and pointed to a glowing mark. There, he said. Tunnel 7 will lead us to an old launch arena. We can fire Earth pulse weapons from there. Mara nodded. I can activate the power lines. Just buy us time. Lyra grabbed her communication stone. I'll coordinate with the resistance teams. If we're doing this, every human on Earth should hear it. Rian smiled for the first time since the war began. Let's show the Krell that humanity is not done. The giants entered the battlefield. The chamber doors, massive stone gates, open like ancient jaws, releasing a burst of blue light into the night sky. The 12 giants stepped on the battlefield, their bodies towering over the rocky mountain. The Krell fleet paused in the air. For a moment, everything went silent. Then panic erupted inside every alien ship. It's them. Impossible. They should be extinct. Retreat, no attack. But before the Krell could make a decision, Kaler raised his hand. A wave of pure energy blasted upward, hitting the nearest Krell warship and slicing it clean in half. The pieces fell like burning stars. The Krell screamed in fear. Rian watched from below, stunned. They destroyed a whole battleship in one strike. He whispered. Kaler looked down at him. This is only the beginning. Humanity emerges with new strength. Mara activated the ancient power lines. Their light stretched across the underground tunnels like veins of energy. In the launch arena, huge metal platforms rose, holding weapons humanity had never imagined. Earth pulse cannons shaped like crystal towers. These things could tear through a whole fleet, she said. Darren grinned. Let's do it. Teams of humans took positions. Lyra coordinated the firing sequence. 3, 2, 1, fire. Columns of blue light shot into the sky and struck the Krell ships. 3 warships exploded at once, sending shockwaves across the air. Humans cheered. For the first time in the war, they heard themselves scream in victory, not fear. The Krell began to retreat. Commander Verax slammed his fist against the console. Impossible. Humanity was broken. His officers looked terrified. The Ancient Ones are stronger than before, and the humans they're fighting like we've never seen. Verax hissed. Then we must destroy the human commander. Without him, the Guardians cannot reach full strength. He pointed toward Earth. Prepare the Spear of Ash. We strike him directly. On Earth, Rian watched the sky burn with explosions. The giants were unstoppable. Humans were rising. Hope was alive again. Then Lyra's voice cut through the radio. Shaken, urgent. Rian, a massive energy spike. It's targeting you. He froze. The giants turned at the same moment, their eyes glowing with warning. Kaler stepped between Rian and the sky. Stand behind me, Commander. The Krell have just made their most desperate move. Above them, a giant dark spear of energy began falling from the Krell flagship, a weapon designed not to destroy Earth, but to kill the one human the Ancient Ones had chosen. Far above Earth, inside the Krell flagship, a weapon that had not been used in 1,000 years came alive. The Spear of Ash, a concentrated beam designed to erase any single life form from existence. charged with black fire. Its tip glowed red, like a dying star. Every Krell on the flagship turned their eyes upward. They had seen this weapon destroy entire species during past conquests. "It will strike the human commander directly," said the weapons officer. "He will vanish, and the Ancient Ones will be leaderless." Commander Verax hissed with satisfaction. "Fire the spear." A sharp hum echoed across the fleet. Then, a blast of dark energy shot toward Earth like a falling comet. On Earth, the world holds its breath. Rian stood frozen as the sky turned red. The ground trembled. The air grew heavy. Lyra screamed into her radio. "Rian, move!" But he couldn't. The energy was locked onto him. He felt it, like invisible chains wrapped around his body. Kaler, the giant leader, stepped in front of him. His glowing armor brightened, forming a massive shield of blue light. The spear of energy struck Kaler's shield, with a sound like thunder tearing across the sky. A shock wave blasted across the mountain, throwing humans backward. Dust rose. Rocks cracked. But when the light faded, Kaler was still standing. Barely. His armor was cracked, and blue sparks flickered from his body. Rian stared at him in shock. "Kaler, you protected me." Kaler's voice was soft but firm. "A guardian's duty is to shield the heart of Earth. And right now, that is you." Rian felt the weight of those words. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He had become the key to Earth's survival. The Krell launched their full attack. Above, the Krell fleet panicked. The spear failed. The Guardian blocked it. "He still lives." Commander Verax roared, then destroyed the entire mountain. "Fire everything." Hundreds of plasma beams rained toward Earth. The sky lit up like fire. The sound was like 1,000 storms exploding at once. But the giants stepped forward as one. They lifted their arms, and 12 massive shields of ancient energy formed, connecting into a dome of pure power. The beams hit the dome. Earth shook violently, but the dome held. Humans inside the mountain stared in disbelief. "These giants, they're the real reason Earth survived the First War," Darren whispered. "Humanity strikes back." Rian looked at Mara. "Activate the second Earth pulse." Mara nodded, wiped dust from her face, and slammed her hand onto the ancient control panel. Deep underground, the old crystal engines roared to life. Blue energy spiraled upward and launched a massive beam into the sky. The Earth pulse cut through 5 Krell warships at once. They exploded in bright bursts, pieces falling like burning rain. Humans across the battlefield cheered. Lyra shouted, "All bunkers are reporting in. They're ready to fire too." One by one, hidden human strongholds awakened their ancient weapons. Beams, cannons, shields, shockwaves, all firing at the Krell fleet. Humanity was rising again. The giants stepped into the sky. Kaler turned to Rian. "Now we bring the fight to them." The 12 giants lifted off the ground, not jumping, but rising like enormous stars. Their bodies glowed brighter with each second. Humans watched in awe as the giants flew into the sky, heading straight for the Krell fleet. The first giant reached the battleship and swung his arm. A blade of pure energy sliced through the ship, cutting it in half. Another giant punched through a cruiser, sending shockwaves that shattered nearby fighters. Kaler landed on the Krell flagship itself. The entire ship shook under his weight. Inside, Commander Verax staggered as alarms blared. How are they this powerful? They should be weakened." Kaler's voice echoed through the hull. "We are guardians of Earth. We do not weaken. We wait, and when the world calls, we rise stronger than before." Kaler punched the deck, sending cracks of glowing blue energy across the flagship's surface. Rian's unexpected power. Back on the ground, Rian felt a surge inside his chest. The echo core was glowing brighter than ever, reacting to the battle. He stumbled, gripping the side of the chamber wall. Lyra rushed to him. "Rian, what's happening?" I can feel everything," he whispered. "The giant's power, the Earth pulse, the Krell ships. It's like the planet is talking to me." Mara stared. "Rian, you're activating the Earth Nexus. You're becoming a conductor for the planet's energy." Rian raised his hands. Blue light flowed from his fingers. "I can help the giants." I can make them stronger. He focused. The chamber glowed. Energy surged through the tunnels, rising toward the giants in the sky. Kaler suddenly felt a new burst of strength. Commander Rian, you are connecting to us. Rian smiled through the pain. Let's finish this together. The turning of the battle, with Rian's energy feeding them. The giants moved faster, hit harder, glowed brighter. They cut through the Krell fleet like fire through dry leaves. Explosions lit the sky. The Krell formation collapsed. Ships fled in every direction. Commander Varak screamed, "Retreat! Retreat now!" But it was too late. Kaler's fist came crashing down onto the flagship. The sky lit up with a blinding blue explosion. The flagship vanished in a storm of burning metal and collapsing energy. Humanity looked up and saw the impossible. The Krell Dominion's greatest ship was gone. Far across the dark side of the moon, a faint vibration rippled through the dust. No human could hear it. No machine could detect it. But the Dominion Prime, the largest Krell warship ever built, responded instantly. Its engines glowed red. Its armor shifted like living metal. Thousands of Krell soldiers inside knelt in silence as a deep, booming voice echoed through the ship. The children of Earth have awakened their guardians. We must end them forever. This voice did not belong to any ordinary Krell commander. It belonged to the Over-Sovereign, the oldest, strongest leader of the entire Dominion. His body was hidden deep inside the armor core of the ship, connected to every weapon and every system. The humans and giants had defeated the Krell fleets. But now they faced something far worse. The one who started the first war. The one the Ancient Ones could not kill. The Over-Sovereign whispered, "Begin descent." The Dominion Prime turned toward Earth, a moving mountain of black metal and burning engines. Earth sees its darkest shadow. On the surface, Rian watched the sky turn black, not from smoke, not from clouds, but from a massive shape descending above them. Lyra whispered, trembling, "Rian, that ship, it's bigger than a city." Mara shook her head slowly. "No, it's bigger than 10 cities." Darren took a step back. This is a real weapon. The Krell saved it for the final strike." Rian stared upward. He wasn't afraid for himself. He was afraid for Earth. Kaler stepped beside him, towering like a glowing mountain. "We fought this ship in the First War," he said quietly. "It killed half of us." Rian felt his stomach tighten. "But now we have something you didn't have before." Kaler looked at him. Humanity. Humanity and giants unite. Across the mountain, every human survivor gathered. Fighters, engineers, medics, elders, children. They all looked up at the massive ship and felt the truth. This was the battle everything had been leading to. This was the moment Earth would either rise or fall forever. Mara connected the last of the Earth pulse cannons. Lyra stood with communication stones glowing in both hands. Darren held an ancient spear blade given to him by one of the giants. Rian stepped onto a platform that lifted him to Kaler's shoulder level. The giant bowed his head. "Commander Rian, together we end this war." Rian nodded. "For Earth." The Dominion Prime opens fire. The Over-Sovereign raised one of the ship's massive cannon arrays. Red energy formed in a swirling sphere. Kaler shouted, "Shields up." The 12 giants formed a circle around the humans. Their shields combined to form a massive dome of glowing crystal blue energy. The Dominion Prime fired. A beam larger than a skyscraper smashed into the shield. The earth shook. Mountains cracked. The ground split open. Humans fell to their knees, covering their ears. The giants groaned as their armor cracked under force. But the shield held. Barely. Kaler shouted, "Rian, now!" Rian closed his eyes and focused. The echo core pulsed like a heartbeat. Energy flowed from his chest into the ground, into the tunnels, into the ancient weapons, into the giants. The earth glowed. The final charge. Kaler roared, "Guardians, advance!" The 12 giants launched into the air, flying straight toward the Dominion Prime. Humans cheered from below. Mara fired the earth pulse cannons, hitting the battleship in 3 places. Armor shattered. Fire erupted. But the Over-Sovereign did not panic. He opened dozens of smaller cannons and unleashed a storm of plasma. 2 giants were hit and fell to one knee, but they rose again, stronger. Kaler reached the ship's hull and punched with all his strength. The metal dented inward. Inside the ship, the Over-Sovereign growled, "Ancient Ones, you cannot kill what was never alive." He unleashed a wave of anti-energy. Dark, cold, deadly. Kaler and the giants were pushed back. Rian gasped, feeling the energy through the echo core. If the Over-Sovereign used that attack again, the giants might fall, Earth might fall. Unless... Rian took a deep breath. "I have to connect directly." Lyra grabbed his arm. "No. Rian, you don't know what that will do to you." Rian looked at her with sad eyes. "Earth chose me. I can't back down now." He placed both hands on the ancient stone platform. The echo core burst with blinding light. Energy shot into the sky, like a blue pillar. The turning point. Every giant suddenly felt a surge of incredible strength. Their armor healed. Their lights blazed brighter. Kaler turned back toward the Dominion Prime. For Earth, for humanity, for the first war. All 12 giants struck the ship at the same moment. The hull split open. Energy systems overloaded. Parts of the ship collapsed inward. Inside, the Over-Sovereign screamed, "No, this world will not defeat me again." Kaler punched through the final barrier and reached the core, a massive heart of dark energy. He looked at Rian through their mental link. Rian whispered, "Finish it." Kaler drove both fists into the core. The Dominion Prime exploded in a blinding flash that lit the sky for miles. After the light, silence fell. Ash drifted down like snow. The sky cleared. The Krell fleet was gone. Humans stepped out from beneath the mountain, staring at the empty sky in disbelief. Lyra cried tears of relief. Mara fell to her knees, laughing weakly. Darren shouted, "We did it!" Rian walked forward slowly. He looked up at Kaler, who stood on the edge of the battlefield, battered but alive. Kaler knelt before him. "Commander Rian, you have done what none before you ever could. Humanity was defeated once, but today you made the universe fear Earth again." Rian smiled softly. "No, we did it together." Kaler bowed his head. "When the next enemy comes, call us, and we will rise again." The giants returned to their resting chamber, their bodies slowly turning back to stone as Earth healed around them. Humanity began to rebuild, stronger than ever, and across the universe, one message spread: do not challenge Earth. They awakened their ancient ones.